In the quiet forests of Ohio, an ancient earthwork complex, built thousands of years ago, precisely tracks the moon's complex 18.6-year cycle, a feat modern engineers still marvel at. This single, breathtaking detail is but a whispered introduction to a pervasive mystery, woven deeply into the very soil of ancient North America. It hints at a past far richer, far more intricate, and undeniably more baffling than most history books dare to imagine. So settle in, let your mind unwind, and allow your thoughts to drift into the silent, enigmatic landscapes where colossal earthworks and impossible alignments challenge everything we thought we knew about the ancient world. Across the vast landscapes of this continent, from the Great Plains to the deep south, silent monuments of Earth stand testament to a past we barely comprehend. These are not simple mounds or haphazard constructions, but often impossibly precise geometric enclosures, colossal earthworks, and celestial observatories that span vast distances, built by hands long turned to dust. They speak of a profound understanding of the cosmos, of monumental engineering, and of a level of social organization that seems to defy the conventional narrative of early North American peoples. We find intricate designs etched into the land, grand architectural visions realized on a scale that demands immense collective effort and astonishing planning. They are the fingerprints of forgotten ingenuity, silent questions posed to the relentless march of time, inviting us to look deeper, to listen more closely to the whispers of the earth itself. They represent a hidden history, a complex tapestry woven into the very ground beneath our feet, waiting to reveal its long-kept secrets to those willing to observe with an open mind. For generations, our understanding of pre-Columbian North America has been largely shaped by a narrative of gradual development. We learned of nomadic hunter-gatherers, moving with the seasons, following game across vast territories. Later, we discover early agriculturalists, cultivating crops like corn, beans, and squash, living in small, scattered villages. Their tools, we are told, were primarily simple: digging sticks, baskets woven from natural fibers, stone axes, and hoes made from shell or bone. Their social structures were seen as localized, tribal, focused on subsistence, with limited capacity for truly large-scale, coordinated labor or complex engineering projects. The archaeological record, through this conventional lens, revealed impressive ingenuity, certainly, in adapting to their environments and developing unique cultures, but generally within the confines of a comparatively simple technological and organizational framework. The expectation was for incremental advancements, not sudden leaps, for constructions that reflected the immediate needs of a community, rather than grand, centuries-long projects of immense scale and precise celestial alignment. This view, while acknowledging the resilience and resourcefulness of ancient peoples, often minimizes the potential for advanced knowledge or monumental aspirations in pre-contact North America, portraying a past that, while rich in culture, was fundamentally unsuited for feats of engineering that might rival those found in the Old World. But as archaeologists, astronomers, and engineers continue to unearth and meticulously study sites across the continent, a different, far more astonishing picture begins to emerge. The sheer scale, the undeniable precision, and the unexpected sophistication of many ancient North American structures simply do not align with this long-held, conventional understanding. How could people, with only rudimentary tools, move millions of cubic yards of earth to construct pyramids larger at their base than those in Egypt, or build concentric rings covering hundreds of acres? How could they achieve geometric forms that are mathematically perfect, or create massive earthworks that align with specific, complex celestial events like the moon's far northern and southern rises and sets, a cycle that takes over 18 years to complete? These structures, often built thousands of years before the arrival of Europeans, demand a radical rethinking of the capabilities and knowledge possessed by these ancient inhabitants. They present a profound challenge to the idea that complex societies, advanced astronomical observation, and monumental engineering were unique to other parts of the world. The evidence, etched permanently into the landscape, points to a level of coordinated effort, intellectual sophistication, and long-term planning that far exceeds what we typically assign to cultures without metal tools, written languages, or known advanced surveying equipment. The questions these sites raise are not just about what was built, but how, and perhaps most profoundly, why. Confronted by these baffling sights, some researchers suggest we are missing crucial pieces of the puzzle. Could it be that these ancient peoples possessed a profound, yet undocumented, understanding of mathematics, geometry, and astronomy? Were they capable of surveying techniques far more advanced than simple sighting sticks, perhaps using methods we have yet to rediscover? Some researchers suggest the existence of a lost knowledge, a sophisticated tradition of engineering and celestial observation passed down through generations, perhaps orally, without leaving behind the written records we typically rely upon. They theorize that this knowledge, developed over millennia, allowed them to conceptualize and execute projects that were both spiritually profound and technologically complex. Others speculate about forgotten technologies, not necessarily advanced machinery in the modern sense, but highly refined, efficient systems of organization, measurement, and labor deployment that allowed them to achieve monumental feats with seemingly rudimentary tools. What if their understanding of material properties, of soil mechanics, or of the natural landscape itself was far more nuanced and practical than we give them credit for? And what if our definition of simple tools is itself too narrow? What if subtle, yet powerful, forms of instrumentation were employed, their nature lost to the sands of time, leaving only the monumental results behind? Theories range from an unrecognized human ingenuity that allowed for profound innovation within a naturalistic framework, to the possibility of a deeper, earlier root for advanced societal structures across the continent, perhaps a mother culture whose influence radiated outwards over vast epochs. Could ancient knowledge, once widespread, have been preserved and selectively applied by later cultures? These alternative perspectives propose that these ancient North American builders were not merely pragmatic survivors, but visionary architects and astute astronomers, capable of abstract thought and long-term planning that transcended the immediate needs of survival. They compel us to reconsider the entire trajectory of human development on this continent, suggesting that we have underestimated the intellectual and organizational prowess of its earliest inhabitants, failing to recognize the sophistication hidden beneath layers of earth and assumption. As we embark on this quiet exploration, letting our minds wander through the silent whispers of the past, the fundamental questions echo across the millennia. Who are these enigmatic builders who etched their profound understanding of the cosmos into the very land? What forgotten knowledge, what lost ingenuity, what advanced capabilities might their creations reveal about humanity's past? And what profound secrets, waiting to reshape our entire understanding of history, still lie hidden beneath the soils of ancient North America, waiting for us to truly see and understand them? The silence of ancient stones and earthworks often speaks volumes, if only we learn how to listen. In the quiet depths of Act 1, we began to uncover whispers of an unexpected brilliance, an advanced understanding hidden within the monumental constructions of ancient North America. We considered the general mystery, how people traditionally seen as hunter-gatherers could possess knowledge that rivals modern engineering. Now, we turn our gaze more specifically to a place where the Earth itself becomes a cosmic calendar, pushing the boundaries of what we thought possible. Deep in the heartland of what is now Ohio, lies an archaeological wonder that continues to confound and inspire all. Stretching across miles of verdant landscape are the Newark earthworks, a colossal complex of geometric enclosures, meticulously shaped from millions of cubic feet of earth. This isn't just a collection of mounds, it's an impossibly vast architectural masterpiece. The most prominent features are a massive, nearly perfect circle, and an equally immense octagon, linked by parallel walls that stretch for over 1,000 feet. The sheer scale is breathtaking. If laid out today, this ancient complex would cover an area roughly equivalent to 1,000 football fields. Imagine the labor, the planning, the sheer will required to carve such precise and enormous shapes into the very fabric of the continent, using nothing but the raw earth itself. The scale is so grand, it's often overlooked in its entirety, only truly revealing its geometric perfection from high above. For generations, archaeologists have attributed these colossal constructions to the Hopewell culture, a people known for their intricate artistry, sophisticated ceremonial practices, and widespread trade networks that span much of ancient North America. The prevailing wisdom suggests these earthworks served as important ritualistic or perhaps defensive centers, places for gathering, ceremony, and social organization. The conventional understanding is that the Hopewell people, ingenious as they were, constructed these monumental sites using relatively simple tools, woven baskets for carrying earth, perhaps deer scapulae or digging sticks for loosening soil, and communal labor, patiently shaping the landscape over many years. This explanation paints a picture of a dedicated, organized society, capable of great collective effort, but operating within the technological constraints of their time, a time long before the advent of advanced metal tools, writing systems, or complex wheeled transportation. It's a testament to human perseverance and the power of unified community. But when we look closer, a profound puzzle emerges, a challenge to this conventional wisdom that makes the very ground beneath our feet seem to shift. The Newark earthworks, particularly its magnificent octagon enclosure, displays a level of geometric precision and astronomical alignment that seems utterly impossible for the technology ascribed to its builders. This octagon, nearly 1,000 feet across, is not merely a rough shape. It is a geometrically precise octagon, with sides of astonishingly uniform length and corners that align with uncanny accuracy. But the truly mind-bending aspect lies in its astronomical orientation. This enormous earthen octagon aligns with breathtaking accuracy to the complex 18.6-year cycle of the moon. This isn't just about tracking a simple moonrise or sunset, but the intricate, subtle dance of the lunar standstill, a phenomenon where the moon reaches its extreme northern and southern points on the horizon over a prolonged period. This particular celestial event is difficult to observe, requiring meticulous, long-term tracking and sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics. It's a phenomenon few cultures in history have ever tracked with such exactitude, let alone embedded into a monumental, multi-mile earthwork complex. The scale of this alignment alone strains the imagination. To successfully survey and construct such a precise geometric shape over such a vast area, ensuring it accurately mirrors the subtle, cyclical movement of a distant celestial body over nearly 2 decades, suggests a mastery of geometry, observational astronomy, and land management far beyond what we typically associate with a society relying on simple tools like baskets and digging sticks. The errors, if constructed with such basic methods, should be vast. Yet, the Newark octagon's precision is so remarkable that modern surveyors, using laser technology and GPS, have marveled at its accuracy. It hints at immense coordination, a profound understanding of the cosmos, and perhaps even sophisticated mathematical knowledge that we simply do not recognize within the known archaeological record of the Hopewell culture. The implication is staggering. Either the Hopewell were far more advanced than we currently understand, or something else entirely was at play. So, if not simple tools and basic observation, what then could explain this celestial architecture? Some researchers suggest these ancient builders must have possessed advanced surveying methods we have yet to discover or fully comprehend. Could they have employed sophisticated forms of water leveling, perhaps using long, water-filled trenches to establish perfectly flat baselines across miles of undulating terrain? What if they utilized precise plumb bobs or siding posts arranged in complex patterns, allowing them to project intricate geometric designs onto the landscape with remarkable accuracy? The complete lack of physical evidence for such instruments keeps these ideas speculative, yet the earthworks themselves stand as undeniable proof of their application. The absence of a written language also complicates our understanding, leaving no textual record of their mathematical principles or engineering techniques. Others venture further, speculating about a deeper understanding of mathematics, a geometry not passed down through written texts, but perhaps through complex oral traditions, mnemonic devices, or practical application encoded in the very patterns of their ceremonial life. Could they have understood concepts like Euclidean geometry, ratios, and fractions, translating these abstract ideas into tangible, earth-based structures? What if their cosmology was so deeply intertwined with these mathematical principles that the act of building became a living equation, a spiritual and scientific endeavor rolled into one? This would imply an intellectual tradition of immense depth and sophistication, cultivated over many centuries. Could it be that these ancient engineers used some forgotten form of instrumentation, a system of observation and measurement that allowed them to chart the heavens and translate those complex calculations onto such a massive scale? Theories range from unique gnomons, ancient sundials, used for precise shadow tracking, to some form of star map or even a precursor to the astrolabe, crafted from perishable materials like wood, bone, or hide, which have long since vanished from the archaeological record. What if their knowledge was not merely observational, but deeply predictive, allowing them to anticipate the moon's complex dance years in advance, giving them the confidence to etch it permanently into the land? The sheer confidence required to undertake such a long-term, large-scale project speaks to a profound certainty in their astronomical predictions. And what if the Hopewell culture, ingenious as they were in their artistic expressions and social organization, were not the sole originators of this profound astronomical and engineering knowledge, but rather the inheritors? Some theories postulate a preceding, more technologically capable civilization, a mother culture, whose wisdom might have filtered down through time, perhaps through oral traditions, or even remnants of forgotten tools or techniques that inspired the Hopewells' incredible achievements. Could there have been an earlier, unrecognized wave of innovation, a period of advanced understanding that predates even our earliest archaeological horizons, leaving behind only the most resilient of legacies? The idea of a lost civilization, a highly organized and scientifically adept people whose traces are almost entirely erased by the relentless march of time, is a powerful one, especially when confronted with evidence like the Newark earthworks. This perspective suggests a more complex, layered history for ancient North America, one where knowledge waxes and wanes, is lost and rediscovered, rather than following a simple, linear progression. The enigma of the Newark earthworks stands as a colossal question mark etched into the landscape of Ohio. How could a culture, lacking written language and what we consider advanced technology, like precision metal tools, wheeled transport, or even rudimentary surveying instruments we might recognize, achieve such astronomical and geometric perfection on this monumental scale? What profound purpose drove this incredible undertaking, compelling generations to dedicate such immense effort to capture the celestial dance of the moon? And what secrets of the heavens did they seek to permanently engrave into the very soil, a cosmic message meant to endure for millennia, waiting for us to finally grasp its profound meaning? From the celestial alignments etched into the Ohio landscape, our gaze drifts south, to the humid lowlands of Louisiana. Here, another impossible monument rises from the earth, not of precise geometric enclosures, but of colossal, concentric ridges that baffle modern minds. This is Poverty Point, a place that stretches the very fabric of our understanding about ancient North America, pushing its origins back further than many dare to imagine. Imagine a world over 3.5 millennia ago, long before the pyramids of Egypt were complete, centuries before the rise of ancient Greece. In the heart of what would become Louisiana, a culture emerged, not of farmers with established villages, but of hunter-gatherers. Yet these were no simple nomads. These people conceived and built a structure so immense, so intricate, that it demands a complete re-evaluation of what we thought was possible for humankind at such an early stage. Poverty Point is not a single mound, but an entire complex, an ancient city built entirely of earth. Its defining feature is a series of 6 massive, semi-concentric earthen ridges, forming a C-shape around a central plaza. These ridges are immense, some standing up to 6 feet tall and nearly 100 feet wide, stretching for miles in total circumference. Added to this are several large mounds, including the impressive Bird Mound, which dominates the western edge, standing over 70 feet high. The entire site spans an area over 900 acres, an unthinkable scale for its time. From above, the geometric precision of these curving lines, the sheer uniformity of the earthworks, is both breathtaking and utterly perplexing. It speaks of a design, a master plan, executed with a level of coordination and labor that challenges every conventional notion of early societies. Mainstream archaeology, looking at this staggering achievement, acknowledges it as an extraordinary feat. The prevailing theory suggests that Poverty Point was constructed by complex hunter-gatherer societies, utilizing immense communal labor. It stands as a testament to early social complexity in North America, a place where people gathered, perhaps for seasonal ceremonies or trade, dedicating themselves to a monumental undertaking using only basic tools, such as baskets and digging sticks, and the power of human hands. It represents a peak of non-agricultural, settled society, demonstrating that even without farming, early Americans could organize on a scale previously associated only with agricultural civilizations. But there is a profound problem with this explanation, a colossal mystery buried within the very earth of Poverty Point. The sheer scale of construction defies easy understanding. Estimates suggest that the builders moved millions upon millions of cubic yards of earth to create these immense structures. Imagine vast crews, working without metal tools, without beasts of burden, without wheels, without any known advanced engineering principles, meticulously shaping these enormous ridges and mounds with such precision. How many people, for how many generations, would it take to accomplish such a task? And how was this labor organized? A simple hunter-gatherer group, focused on day-to-day survival, sustaining itself without a reliable agricultural surplus, should not have been capable of such an incredible, sustained engineering feat. Furthermore, despite the immense scale of the earthworks, archaeological digs have revealed very little evidence of permanent domestic structures at Poverty Point. While there's evidence of occupation and activity, the absence of widespread, permanent housing for a large, settled population challenges the idea of it being a conventional city in the way we understand it. It raises a crucial question. If people weren't living here permanently in large numbers, what was the driving force behind such colossal, sustained construction? For what purpose did generations of people invest so much energy in building a place that seemed to lack the basic infrastructure of daily life? The intricate, sophisticated layout, designed with such apparent intention, seems to demand a greater, more profound purpose than mere temporary gatherings. The mysteries embedded in Poverty Point compel us to consider alternative possibilities. Some researchers believe it could have been an immense, early trading hub, drawing people from vast distances across ancient North America. Its strategic location near waterways would have made it ideal for such a purpose. Could the concentric ridges have been marketplaces, or areas designated for specific trading activities, where goods like copper from the Great Lakes, chert from the Ouachita Mountains, and soapstone from the Appalachians were exchanged? But even as a trading center, the scale of construction still seems disproportionate to the typical needs of commerce, particularly without a permanent residential base. Other theories suggest Poverty Point was a colossal ceremonial site, a sacred landscape designed for grand rituals and spiritual gatherings. Perhaps the concentric rings represented different cosmic spheres, or pathways for processions during significant events. The sheer artistry and effort poured into its creation speak to a deep spiritual significance. Could the circular patterns have been an attempt to mimic celestial movements, much like the alignments we observed in Ohio? The site's monumental scale could have been intended to awe and connect participants with the divine, a massive temple etched directly into the land. Then there are those who speculate about Poverty Point functioning as an astronomical observation post, perhaps a giant, ground-based calendar. The layout, with its specific orientation and monumental scale, could have been used to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, much like other ancient sites across the globe. Could the different ridges and mounds have acted as sidelines, marking solstices, equinoxes, or other celestial events vital for a people deeply connected to the rhythms of nature? If so, it implies a level of astronomical knowledge and surveying skill far beyond what is conventionally attributed to societies of that era. Could Poverty Point represent a form of advanced social organization previously unrecognized for this ancient period? Perhaps a complex hierarchical structure, a highly skilled priesthood, or a powerful leadership class emerged within these hunter-gatherer groups, capable of inspiring and directing labor on an unprecedented scale. Some even wonder if Poverty Point hints at a deeper, earlier root for advanced societal structures in ancient America, suggesting that pockets of sophisticated civilization may have emerged and disappeared, leaving only these silent earthen giants as their legacy. Could there have been forgotten techniques for moving earth efficiently, or a form of communal organization so compelling that it allowed people to dedicate their lives to such a monumental, long-term project? The existence of Poverty Point, dating back 3,500 years, forces us to confront a profound question. How did a people, thought to be merely subsistence hunters, manage to organize and execute such a monumental engineering feat with such incredible precision, moving millions of cubic yards of earth without what we consider modern technology? And what profound, forgotten purpose drove its creation, leaving behind a legacy that continues to baffle and inspire wonder, echoing a lost civilization's ambition across the millennia? The enigma of Poverty Point's builders is profound, but it is not unique. Across the ancient landscapes of North America, other colossal structures rise from the earth, each whispering of lost ingenuity, challenging our assumptions. And perhaps none speak louder than the silent earthen giants of Cahokia. Imagine, for a moment, an ancient city. Not in Europe, not in Asia, but nestled within the floodplain of the Mississippi River, in what is now Illinois. This was Cahokia, an astonishing metropolis that, at its peak around 1050 AD, was larger than London was at the same time. A sprawling urban center, home to tens of thousands of people, its landscape dominated by monumental earthen mounds, some rising higher than ancient Roman temples. At its heart stood Monk's Mound, a colossal earthen pyramid unlike anything else in North America. Its base alone covers nearly 14 acres, a footprint larger than that of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Rising over 100 feet, this massive structure was not merely a hill. It was a multi-tiered platform, a testament to unparalleled engineering and a clear focal point for a complex society. From its summit, one could survey a vast network of smaller mounds, plazas, residential areas, and even massive timber circles, echoing the celestial alignments we've begun to explore in other sites. Cahokia was not just a village, it was a thriving, planned city, a wonder of the ancient world, built entirely of earth and wood. Its very existence, its sheer scale and sophistication, demands a profound reconsideration of what was possible in ancient North America. The mainstream understanding tells us that Cahokia was the pinnacle of the Mississippian culture, a complex chiefdom that flourished in the American Midwest. Archaeologists propose that this incredible city was constructed through the organized labor of tens of thousands of people, brought together by powerful leaders. The primary tools for this monumental task were simple, yet effective: baskets for carrying earth, and hoes or digging sticks for loosening the soil. Over generations, these dedicated workers, moving millions of cubic yards of earth one basketful at a time, gradually sculpted the landscape, creating Monk's Mound and the hundreds of other smaller mounds that defined Cahokia. This collective, communal effort, it is argued, demonstrates the impressive social organization and agricultural surplus of the Mississippian people, allowing them to support such a large, non-farming labor force. The construction, while immense, is seen as achievable through sheer human will and organized, sustained effort over centuries, a testament to their ingenuity within the confines of their known technology. But there are profound questions that emerge when we truly contemplate the magnitude of Cahokia, and particularly Monk's Mound. The basket and hoe narrative, while acknowledging immense effort, struggles to fully explain some critical aspects of this ancient city. Consider the sheer volume of earth moved, an estimated 22 million cubic feet for Monk's Mound alone. To achieve this with simple baskets and digging sticks implies an organizational feat of staggering complexity, beyond what many scholars typically associate with pre-industrial societies lacking written language, advanced mathematics, or known surveying instruments. How were these tens of thousands of laborers managed, fed, housed, and coordinated with such sustained efficiency over perhaps centuries? The logistical challenges alone are mind-boggling. Furthermore, the engineering required for Monk's Mound was not just about piling dirt. It was a multi-stage construction, involving successive layers built up over time, each requiring structural stability. Earthworks, especially ones of this size and height, are prone to erosion, slumping, and collapse without proper compaction, drainage, and foundational stability. How did the Cahokian builders ensure the integrity of these massive structures, allowing them to stand for centuries, resisting the forces of nature? What understanding did they possess of soil mechanics, water drainage, and load-bearing that allowed for such monumental and enduring construction? The precise angles, the careful layering, and the apparent stability of Monk's Mound suggest a knowledge of earth engineering that seems to defy the simple tools explanation. This wasn't merely a pile of dirt, it was an engineered marvel. Adding to the enigma is Cahokia's sophisticated urban planning. This was a city with distinct residential districts, vast open plazas, and a carefully constructed defensive palisade surrounding its central core. There were even wood hinges, circles of massive timber posts precisely aligned with solstices and equinoxes, suggesting an advanced understanding of celestial movements, much like the precision we observed in the Newark earthworks. This level of planning and organization rivals contemporary European cities, raising questions about the administrative capacity, the social hierarchy, and the sheer intellectual prowess of its inhabitants. How could such intricate urban design and astronomical observation be achieved without advanced forms of mapping, measurement, and mathematical understanding? Then there is the perplexing timeline. Cahokia experienced a remarkably rapid rise around 1050 AD, seemingly emerging as a fully formed metropolis in a relatively short period, suggesting a sudden infusion of knowledge, resources, or organizational capability. And perhaps even more puzzling is its eventual, relatively swift abandonment by the 14th century. What led to the demise of such a thriving, powerful center? Was it environmental degradation, resource depletion, internal strife, or perhaps something else entirely? The abrupt end of such a monumental undertaking leaves behind a profound historical void. These persistent questions strain the conventional narrative, hinting at depths of ingenuity and knowledge we may have underestimated. These challenging questions have led some researchers to explore alternative theories, speculating on capabilities that extend beyond the accepted view of ancient Mississippian society. Could it be that the Cahokian builders possessed a precursor knowledge, or inherited advanced skills from an earlier, as yet unknown culture? Perhaps there was a mother culture that predated the Mississippian rise, a civilization whose engineering prowess and organizational genius were passed down, allowing for the rapid flourishing of Cahokia. This isn't to say an external force built it, but rather that the Mississippian people themselves may have been the beneficiaries of a deeper, older lineage of specialized knowledge. Others speculate about lost tools or techniques, beyond what we currently assume. What if the baskets and hoes were merely the most common, but not the only, instruments employed? Could there have been more resilient forms of digging implements, perhaps made from hardened wood, bone, or even some form of composite material we haven't yet identified or understood? What about methods of earth compaction that went beyond simply stomping the ground? Could they have understood a rudimentary form of soil stabilization or water management that made their earthworks extraordinarily durable? Some theories suggest a sophisticated understanding of acoustics or resonance, potentially used in moving or positioning large amounts of material, though this remains highly speculative. There's a persistent whisper of ingenuity that seems just beyond our grasp, a forgotten efficiency that allowed for such monumental tasks. The very stability and longevity of Monk's Mound suggest a deep, almost intuitive, understanding of geology and hydrology. Could the Cahokian engineers have known how to select specific types of earth, how to layer them to prevent erosion, or how to design internal drainage systems that kept water from undermining the structure? Such knowledge, without modern scientific instruments, would indicate a remarkable level of empirical observation and architectural mastery, far surpassing what is commonly attributed to them. It points to a systematic approach to construction, passed down through generations, perhaps codified in ways we no longer recognize. Could the social organization itself have been far more complex than simple chiefdoms? Some suggest a highly integrated, almost proto-state level of administration, capable of marshalling vast resources and labor through sophisticated planning and possibly even advanced forms of record-keeping, even if not in a traditional written script. What if the abandonment of Cahokia was not a decline, but a dispersal, carrying this specialized knowledge to other regions, leading to the rise of other, smaller mound-building cultures? The puzzle is not just how they built it, but what kind of society could conceive, execute, and sustain such a grand vision. The silent earthen giants of Cahokia stand today as an enduring testament to the extraordinary capabilities of ancient North America's inhabitants. They challenge us to look beyond simplistic narratives and reconsider the true potential of human ingenuity in the distant past. What sophisticated methods allowed the Mississippians to build such a colossal city, with such precision and stability, and maintain such a complex society for centuries? And perhaps the most haunting question, what led to its bewildering, abrupt demise? leaving behind only these silent earthen giants, their secrets still buried deep within the soil. The story of Cahokia is a testament to what we don't know, a profound echo of a lost world. From the grand cities built to house thousands, with their monumental mounds like monks, we turn our gaze to a different, perhaps even more enigmatic form of ancient expression. These are not cities, nor fortresses, but colossal outlines etched into the very land itself. In the southern heart of Ohio, a silent giant slumbers, winding across the ancient landscape for over a quarter of a mile. This is Serpent Mound, an impossibly massive effigy mound, shaped like a colossal serpent uncoiling itself across a plateau overlooking a creek. Its head points eastward, its body a series of 7 sinuous coils, and its tail a triple spiral. Imagine standing at one end, looking down its immense length, an ancient creature formed entirely of earth, laid out with a scale that defies belief. This isn't just a hill, it's a deliberate, precise sculpture, a testament to a vision so grand, it's still difficult to fully comprehend today. It has been there for perhaps 2,000 years, maybe even more, a silent witness to countless dawns and dusks. For generations, mainstream archaeology has largely interpreted Serpent Mound, and other effigy mounds like it, as primarily ceremonial or spiritual sites. They are seen as grand representations of the cosmos and the natural world, built by the Adena or Hopewell cultures. Scholars suggest these mounds embody the spiritual beliefs of their creators, reflecting their profound connection to the cycles of life, death, and renewal. They served as places for ritual, for community gathering, and as sacred landscapes where the physical and spiritual worlds could meet. This view places them firmly within the realm of religious expression, grand works of art crafted with a deep reverence for nature and the unseen forces of the universe. The effort, according to this perspective, was an act of faith, a communal offering to the spirits of the land and sky. They were, in essence, open-air cathedrals, their form dictated by myth and devotion. But there's a profound challenge to this explanation, a quiet whisper that suggests something far more complex. While the spiritual significance is undeniable, the incredible precision of Serpent Mound's astronomical alignments stretches the definition of mere symbolism. The serpent's head, for example, is oriented towards the summer solstice sunset. Its coils and curves precisely align with the sunrise and sunset points of both the summer and winter solstices, and even the equinoxes. Some researchers argue that the triple spiral of the tail even points to the northernmost moonrise, a subtle echo of the lunar alignments we saw at Newark earthworks. These are not approximations or happy accidents. The sheer accuracy implies a deep, scientific understanding of celestial mechanics, a sophisticated grasp of observational astronomy, and the ability to transfer that complex knowledge into monumental landscape architecture. Moving millions of cubic feet of earth to create such precise markers, without modern surveying equipment, suggests a level of planning and technical skill that goes far beyond simple spiritual artistry. It's one thing to believe the sun moves. It's another entirely to engrave its precise path into the ground with such monumental exactitude, creating a giant, land-based instrument. This level of precise engineering forces us to ask, was it just about belief, or was it also about an advanced, practical science that we have yet to fully appreciate? These astonishing alignments spark a range of alternative theories, each more intriguing than the last. Could Serpent Mound have functioned not just as a spiritual site, but as a sophisticated calendar, tracking the seasons for planting and harvesting, or perhaps even predicting eclipses? Such a colossal calendar would have been visible for miles, a communal timepiece etched into the very land. Some researchers propose it was a giant observatory, a fixed point from which ancient astronomers could record the movements of the heavens with unmatched accuracy, perhaps passing down generations of celestial knowledge. The very coils of the serpent might have marked different celestial events, turning the entire effigy into a complex diagram of the sky. Other theories suggest something even more profound, that these effigy mounds, and perhaps even other earthworks, were a form of land-based writing, a system of symbols or knowledge encoded into the landscape itself, conveying complex cosmological understandings or historical narratives that are now lost to us. This idea posits that while there was no written language in the traditional sense, these magnificent earthworks served as monumental texts, their meanings readable by those who understood their design. Could the serpent itself be a symbol for the cyclical nature of time, or the Milky Way, or a cosmic river? And what if Serpent Mound was not an isolated marvel, but part of a vast network of sacred sites, connected by unseen lines of energy or wisdom that crisscrossed ancient North America? Some speculate about a sophisticated understanding of geomancy, where specific locations were chosen not just for their aesthetic appeal, but for their energetic properties or their alignment with hidden telluric currents. In this view, the effigy mounds, along with other earthworks, could have been nodes in a grand, interconnected system, transmitting or amplifying knowledge across vast distances. This vision paints a picture of a continent alive with meaning, its landscape woven with spiritual and scientific intent. What profound understanding of the cosmos were these ancient people trying to permanently engrave into the very landscape with these incredible, enigmatic effigies? And what wisdom, both scientific and spiritual, were they attempting to pass down through time, in a language written in earth and sky, waiting for us to truly comprehend its message? We have journeyed across ancient North America, uncovering colossal earthworks, precise celestial observatories, and monumental cities carved from the very land. From the quiet majesty of Newark's lunar octagon to the sprawling complexity of Poverty Point, the enigmatic urban grid of Cahokia, and the cosmic serpent etched into Ohio's hills, each site has revealed a baffling level of ingenuity. But what if these weren't isolated wonders, born from disparate minds across a vast continent? What if these seemingly unconnected marvels are, in fact, pieces of a much grander design? Consider the ghostly echoes. The same precision in geometry, the uncanny understanding of celestial mechanics, and the sheer, impossible scale of earth moving repeat themselves. Could these be mere coincidence? The official narrative often frames these sites as independent cultural developments. Scholars typically view the Hopewell, Adena, Mississippian, and Poverty Point cultures as distinct groups, each forging their own innovations. Yes, there was trade and cultural exchange, a gradual diffusion of ideas across the landscape over centuries. But the idea is that major engineering feats, precise astronomical alignments, or monumental urban planning emerged organically within these individual societies, shaped by local needs and beliefs, evolving somewhat in isolation. These are seen as remarkable achievements of separate peoples, each responding to their environment and spiritual world in unique ways, with limited overarching influence from a singular, unifying source. The vast distances between, say, the geometric enclosures of Ohio and the concentric rings of Louisiana, or the colossal mounds of Illinois, are often cited as evidence against a single, pervasive blueprint. But there's a persistent, nagging question that haunts the edges of this conventional view. The recurring motifs of advanced geometry, precise astronomical alignments, and monumental earth-moving. They don't just appear once, they appear again and again, across vast geographical distances and different timelines, spanning thousands of years. The consistent presence of these incredibly sophisticated traits, which challenge our understanding of ancient capabilities in any single location, becomes even more perplexing when seen as a continent-wide pattern. It suggests a common thread, a shared knowledge, or a unifying factor that we, from our modern perspective, might be fundamentally overlooking. The precision, the effort, the sheer scale required for each site points to a level of organized thought and technical skill that is difficult to dismiss as merely independent, happenstance innovation. Some researchers propose a radical idea that these powerful structures, from precise earthen calendars to colossal ceremonial centers, might be the remnants of an ancient, widespread, shared knowledge tradition. Could there have been a mother culture, a foundational civilization, or a broad intellectual current that predates and influenced many of these later groups? This isn't to say every group was the same, but that a deep well of fundamental wisdom, perhaps in engineering, astronomy, or spiritual cosmology, might have been disseminated across the continent. Imagine an ancient pedagogy, a core curriculum of sophisticated understanding, passed down through generations, across tribal lines, and through migrations. This knowledge wouldn't necessarily involve written texts as we know them, but perhaps highly formalized oral traditions, symbolic iconography, or even practical demonstrations etched into the landscape itself, like the geometric principles inherent in the Newark earthworks. This mother culture might have been a source of advanced surveying techniques, methods for moving massive amounts of earth, or an understanding of sacred geometry that later groups adapted and monumentalized in their own unique ways. The echoes of a common intellectual ancestry, stretching back into a dimly perceived past, could explain the perplexing similarities in precision and monumental ambition found at sites separated by hundreds, even thousands, of miles and centuries. This would shift our view from isolated genius to a deeply interconnected flow of ancient expertise. Others wonder if, even without a single mother culture, a vast network of sophisticated ancient trade routes or shared spiritual beliefs could have served as the conduits for this advanced knowledge. It's known that ancient peoples exchanged goods over great distances, but what if they also exchanged complex ideas, scientific observations, and spiritual doctrines with equal fervor? Imagine a continent-spanning intellectual highway, where a master astronomer from the Mississippi Valley could share insights with a skilled earthworker in Ohio, or a priest from Louisiana could impart cosmological secrets to a builder near the Great Lakes. Religious pilgrimages, ceremonial gatherings, and long-distance trade might have served as melting pots for the exchange of precise measurements, calendrical data, and even architectural blueprints. Perhaps certain individuals or families held specialized knowledge, traveling between communities, offering their expertise in exchange for resources or respect. The consistent alignment of effigy mounds to celestial events, the repeated geometric forms, and the monumental scope of construction could then be understood as a testament not just to individual cultural ingenuity, but to a collective, evolving wisdom that spread like an intricate web across the landscape, binding disparate groups through shared purpose and understanding. These weren't just trade routes for obsidian or copper, they were arteries for the flow of profound scientific and spiritual knowledge, shaping the very landscape into a unified, sacred geography. Then there are those who dare to ponder an even more profound possibility, that these remarkable achievements, the scale and precision of which consistently defy conventional explanation, might be the remnants of a lost, advanced civilization. A civilization whose grandeur and capabilities were largely erased by time, disaster, or perhaps a deliberate choice to withdraw, leaving behind only these enigmatic structures as silent witnesses. Could there have been a civilization with advanced technology, forgotten now, whose engineering prowess allowed them to precisely align massive earthworks to cosmic cycles, move millions of cubic yards of earth with baffling efficiency, or plot entire cities with astounding geometric accuracy? Perhaps they possess tools, methods, or forms of energy that are completely unknown to us. These structures wouldn't just be the work of later cultures inheriting knowledge, but direct physical evidence of a people far more advanced than we currently acknowledge. The sites we see today, then, might not be the pinnacle of their achievement, but merely the most enduring fragments, like scattered jewels from a shattered crown, hinting at a forgotten golden age of unprecedented sophistication across ancient North America. This lost civilization could have vanished, leaving behind its monumental legacy and inspiring subsequent, less technologically equipped groups to emulate their grandeur with the means they possessed, leading to the impossible structures we now examine. Could these individual wonders truly be pieces of a grander, hidden puzzle? A puzzle hinting at a lost, unifying tradition or civilization that once stretched across the vastness of ancient North America, waiting to be rediscovered? What profound story would unfold if we were to connect these dots, to see the continent not as a collection of isolated achievements, but as a testament to a sweeping, unified, and utterly mysterious ancient legacy? As we consider the possibility of a forgotten network stretching across the ancient continent, a profound shift begins to occur in our understanding of what was truly possible in pre-Columbian North America. When we synthesize the evidence from the monumental earthworks of Ohio, the vast complex of Poverty Point, the sprawling city of Cahokia, and the enigmatic Serpent Mound, an astonishing picture emerges. These seemingly disparate wonders, when viewed as a collective, fundamentally challenge and profoundly expand everything we thought we knew about the true capabilities of North America's ancient inhabitants. For many years, the conventional historical understanding painted a rather gradual, linear portrait of ancient North America. It told a story of people slowly developing from simple hunter-gatherers, eventually embracing basic agriculture. This widely accepted paradigm suggested societies with limited technological means, using rudimentary tools, and possessing an organizational capacity that, while impressive for its time, was seen as far from what we consider advanced. The academic consensus often positioned these cultures as slowly, incrementally evolving, with grand, complex engineering largely reserved for other parts of the world. But there is a critical problem with this comfortable, long-held narrative. The consistent presence of complex engineering, precise astronomical alignments, and monumental architecture throughout these sites cannot be easily dismissed or explained away. From the sophisticated geometric precision of the Newark earthworks, tracking celestial cycles with an accuracy that astounds modern science, to the sheer, incomprehensible scale of earth moved at Poverty Point and Cahokia, building structures larger than any known from the era, these achievements point to capabilities and a level of understanding far beyond what is conventionally taught or accepted. These ancient builders mastered surveying, earth-moving, and astronomical observation to a degree that demands a complete reevaluation of their intellectual and technological prowess. This mounting evidence compels us towards an alternative perspective. A profound reevaluation of history is no longer just an academic exercise confined to dusty archives. It becomes a humbling necessity. It highlights the stunning potential for human ingenuity to reach unexpected heights in forgotten eras, across continents we thought we understood. This re-examination forces us to confront the realization that much of our past, especially on this vast and ancient continent, is still shrouded in enigma, waiting to be uncovered. Perhaps these were not isolated bursts of brilliance, but rather echoes of a deeper, shared knowledge, or even fragments of a lost, sophisticated civilization whose legacy influenced those who came after. Could it be that what we perceive as primitive was, in fact, a highly adapted and complex way of life, built upon foundational knowledge we have long since forgotten? Some researchers even ponder if the tools we imagine these people using, simple baskets and digging sticks, were merely part of a larger, more advanced toolkit, or if their understanding of natural forces allowed them to achieve what seems impossible to us. This alternative view doesn't diminish the achievements of known cultures but rather enriches them, suggesting they may have inherited or preserved pieces of an even more ancient wisdom. So, as we contemplate these silent monuments, etched into the very landscape of North America, we are left with a profound and echoing question. What truly incredible stories, what lost civilizations, and what advanced knowledge remain hidden beneath the soil of this continent, patiently waiting to be discovered? What other secrets, currently unwritten in our history books, might still lie dormant, poised to reshape our entire understanding of human history and our place within its unfolding, boundless mystery? The earth holds its breath, guarding the silent wisdom of engineers whose names we may never know, but whose monumental works forever remind us of a past far more complex, and far more awe-inspiring, than we could have ever imagined.